thing, though, was interviews, and they had Max Verstappen on, and when they're interviewing him about how he couldn't overtake Mercedes, and at the end he's just like, everything was fine. I did what I could. I couldn't get it because he had front wing damage too, so he just was losing pace. And then he's just like, it was just an average, boring race for me.
That's because Max wants to race and crash into people. Like,
yeah,
it makes me laugh because like the generation of kids that have come up these days. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Sterling Moss, who recently passed away, unfortunately. He said that like when he was in the sport, you didn't become a Formula One driver until you were like 31. Like you didn't start until much older, and the people coming in these days are all just kids. Like, I mean, you've got Max has just been signed to like a 4-year contract with Red Bull, and he's basically 21. Charles Leclerc is the same. He's just signed to a 5-year with Ferrari, and he's 20. Yeah, I think he's the same age. I think he's about 21. But like Lance Stroll, George Russell, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, not Sergio Perez, the guy who drives for AlphaTauri, which I hate that new team name, by the way. The guy who got kicked out of Red Bull.
Something, yeah.
George Russell is the Williams guy. I'm talking about the guy who got kicked out from Red Bull last year.
Yeah, like I know who you're talking about. Starts with a G. His last name, I can't remember what the hell.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about. Like,
yeah,
seeing all of those people be like, all came up together. Like, there's photos and everything of them all like racing in F2 and F3 and karting, and there's like little baby Max right next to a little baby George, and like next to a little baby fucking Norris, and it's just like these kids are way too calm and way too collected for their age. Like, when you've got someone like Alonso who literally pulled out a deck chair and sat on the side of the race at the age of 35.
Yeah.
And these kids are just like, I think in his very first race, George Russell crashed into a wall, and someone said, "Oh, do you think this is inexperience, Sean?" And he's like, "I think that's an excuse. It's not an excuse I'd feel happy with, but it's an excuse." It's like, cool. He owned up to his shit in his very first race. It's like, okay. Like, these kids are way too calm and composed.
Oh, man.
So it does make me laugh that Lando went into all of the esports leagues, like did the indies, he did the endurance stuff when the season was closed, and just trounced everybody. And then all of the professional IndyCar drivers got pissed that this kid from Formula One was coming along and smacking their asses.
Yeah.
It's like, he does it for fun. He does sim racing for fun. You guys are doing this for the first time, and you wonder why this kid who just spent hundreds of hours doing this over his life is better than you.
I'm saying all of them have, it seems like, these rigs that are built like an F1 car in their basement. So it's like, and then you see all the indie guys who are using basically what I would use.
Yeah,
if I wanted to spend the money on it.
Wheels suckered onto the top of the desk.
Some fucking, Mad Cat steering wheel from 1998, and it's
yeah, and you got Lando with his like literally he can adjust the seat so he's driving in Formula One position or endurance car racing. It's like stainless solid steel pedals, 3 monitors set up, force feedback in the steering wheel, and everything else. Like, he gets in his race suit sometimes to do sim racing.
Right.
One of them has like a naked rig that they put a seat in and all the pedals and stuff, and it's like,
wow,
that's too much, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's because like Lando, I think I mentioned it before, but Lando, Max, somebody else, and one of the Formula E drivers all do esports racing in their spare time and have an esports team together.
Nice.
It's like, these kids live and breathe this stuff. They're not out there doing the whining and dining and womanizing that the Formula One legends of the past did.
Right.
Like,
they're on the track.
They're out there just hanging around on Twitch and selling merch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather have it that than the other way.
Yeah. At least it'll keep them out of trouble, hopefully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys ready to get started?
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Bonjour.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. You get some cool audio. We keep releasing just a ton of it every week. And I get some help paying for the show, which is really great. Don't forget the newly agreed upon $250 tier. Or not tier. If you want to give me $250 a month, I will never say no. But the $250 goal is me playing Resident Evil 7 and crying on stream live for your enjoyment and my horror. Patreon.com/E1M1.
Please tell your friends. Tell your friends. I talked over it, so yes, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones and numbers. Tell your friends. $2. That's get yourself signed in. $2, $5, whatever it is.
Yep. $5 gets you everything.
My soul needs this.
Yes, that's right.
In the world of 2020, give us this light.
All right.
By that I mean light for us, darkness for Boston.
Brighten your life with my tears. That's what we're really talking about. All right, let's dive into what you've been playing. Moonpier.
I almost wrote names instead of titles, so that's fun. That should tell you how my head is going so far today.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dead by Friday, obviously. Don't have to write that down, Boston. You don't have to write it every week. Just saying.
I'm writing that title. Don't
worry. Played with T and Rob, the usual crew. Jason showed up and forgot to update his game. So, as always, the same old pattern happens whenever Jason shows up. He forgets, updates, and then I'm in bed by the time he starts because I needed to go to work on Saturday. Boo! Boo!
Boo hiss!
I played a whole bunch of Apex Legends, obviously. The current storyline is wrapping up on Tuesday, and the season pass has got like another 4 weeks to go on it, so I'm on the run to 100 for that one, which is always fun.
What's your current season pass rank as we've been charting it through the last couple of weeks?
64, 65, something like that.
Right? Yeah.
I barely played it, and I've still got a whole bunch of challenges to go, so that can jump by anywhere between 5 to 10 levels a week if I actually want to put the time in to do it.
Right.
So playing very casually has worked out nicely for me.
Nice.
And now, on to the week of new games for Moon.
Okay.
We're going to start with Nier, first and foremost, because I did play a whole bunch more Nier.
Oh, yeah.
Did you forget that I was playing this game, dude?
100% did.
I was looking forward to talking about it this week.
This last week was just rough.
Okay. So, I'm going to try and use descriptors, again, to not spoil anything for people. Same thing I did last week. So I reached the white city of Minas Tirith.
Yeah. Yes.
I found the Church of Latter-day Max.
Yeah. Yes.
Anybody who's played the game is understanding 100% what these means, by the way.
Yep.
I found the Sleeping Dogs DLC Robo Zombies, the Hop.
Yeah. Yep.
I Am Legion, and I followed that with LOL, because it's basically a Castlevania boss fight.
Yeah.
Follow that with WTH ? And then if you just excuse me for 2 seconds while I pull up the rest of my notes, which is over here somewhere. There it is. Then I went back to Robo Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes.
Then I went back to Robo Disney.
Yes.
I've just found the Village of France again.
Right.
And that's where I currently stand.
Are you on B? Route B?
Yes.
Okay.
I am now doing Route B, which has all of the additional weird little cutscenes between sections you've seen.
Yeah, you're getting more stuff now. You're playing as 2B, right?
Yes. I don't like him.
How do you like the hacking game, though?
The hacking game is fine.
Yeah.
Until you literally do it like 20 times. It's just like, enough already.
Yeah, there's like not enough of them to...
And I also don't understand what the effects are. Like, should I be getting these explosion and fire chips and slotting them in so that when I hack somebody, does it cause explosions, or do I need to do something else?
I don't know. I don't think I did it.
No idea what's going on for that stuff. So literally, I'm just hacking and slashing my way through all of the things I've already seen before.
Right.
While trying to figure out what's going on, and also do side quests and work towards achievements and the like.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to reiterate what I said last week. Gameplay-wise, this game is fine.
Yep.
It's not fantastic.
It's solid.
Fine. Story-wise, it was confusing.
Hmm.
And then things happened and it got more confusing.
Yeah.
And it turns out I was wrong. It wasn't Adam and Steve. It was Adam and Eve. Literally,
Yes.
it was so close to being spot on. I
Yep.
had a guess that's what it was. Yeah, this game is weird.
Yeah.
I know to reach the quintessential end of the story, I'm pretty sure I need to go all the way through C.
E.
Okay, the third playthrough. I don't know if that's C or E or what that is, but all I know is I need to get through the third playthrough, apparently.
Yeah. That is right and not right. Ending E is the end of the game. People keep saying, like, it's only 3 playthroughs. Not really. There are 5 endings you need to go through. E is the end of the game. People want to, like, try and make it easier, and they just make it more confusing.
Whatever. Just
Yeah.
Whatever is where I stand on that right now.
D and E are short. That's why the internet wants to be stupid about something and split hairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did get engine G.
Okay. Which one was that one?
When I first started playing as 2B, I lowered the robotic arm, and then just ran down it, and it was like, return to mission. It's like, no, I'm exploring. There might be treasure this way. And then it said that 2B abandoned his mission just to go and explore study mechs. Then it gave me the really fast credits, and then I loaded it up again, which was
good.
very annoying because I had to then control that stupid machine getting the bucket of oil again.
Oh, no.
Which I'd only just done.
Yeah.
So yeah, rough. I was a little bit annoyed with that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm going to keep playing and see what happens at the end of the story and see
You're in the thick of it now.
How I feel.
Yeah.
Yes. I've already put like 20 hours into it. I can't be that much further away at this point.
You would think that, but also don't forget, before you abandon the game, you can buy the trophies with in-game currency.
I'm aware of the trophy shop.
So... Yeah.
I wonder if they rename it Achievement Shop in the Xbox version. Let's find out.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Nier is odd. We'll say for now. We'll see if the story at the end brings it back up again. But whatever. It's got a very Kojima vibe right now. I will say that much. Mm-hmm. Very much. We're going to try and get all of these parts and mix them together at the end and have it make sense. We'll see how we do with that by the time the credits roll.
Yeah.
Wait until the Lale Lule Lo show up.
Mm-hmm. The Kojima special.
Yeah.
So my wife picked up The Hunt, Showdown.
Okay.
Which I played for a little bit with her. Hey, Boston, this technically qualifies as a roguelike, I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
Don't put it on the list. Don't put it on any lists.
We don't need any more games on there right now.
No, especially not one that's a third-person shooter. This is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it at the moment. It's a PvP, PvE kind of battle royale, kind of not.
So they just put every game type plus roguelike into a blender and just hit that button.
Basically, yes. So, what is Hunt the Showdown, or the Hunt Showdown, whatever it's called? Up to 10 people, I think it is, get loaded into a map. It's set in the bayou. Mm-hmm. So it's a mixture of, it's set in like the Old West, so it's like revolvers and Garans and that kind of stuff, with crossbows, that kind of time frame.
Right.
And it also has a little bit of magic / hoodoo mixed in there too.
Okay.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, blah, 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 this carriage will self-destruct, etc., etc., is to find clues in the map that lead you to a target. The target is a demon of some kind or a monster.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
Yeah. The first target is a giant spider. The tutorial target is a giant spider.
Okay.
And when I say giant, I don't mean giant. I mean
Like
12-foot leg length.
larger
kind of
than
giant.
buildings. Right.
EDF style.
Right.
Not that large, but definitely big enough to cause some problems. Like,
Right.
it hangs out in a barn and literally runs across the ceiling faster than you can track it.
Blech.
It's about the size of Shelob compared to regular humans in the Lord of the Rings movies, if you want that kind of size reference.
Gotcha. Okay.
It moves like a spider, it sounds like a spider, and it's creepy as a spider is creepy.
Ugh.
So the goal is you kill the target, in this case, giant spider. When the target is dead, you find enough clues to find the layer of the target. You go to the layer, you kill the target. When you can't even remember the term used for it, but it's basically disenchants the corpse of this target.
Okay.
Which takes like 60 seconds. A bounty coin appears on the body. You then pick up that bounty coin and take it to an exit point and escape from the exit with the bounty to get a whole bunch of rewards.
Okay. I feel like I'm picking up the kind of framework here.
Mm-hmm. Not too bad single player, but you load in with 10 other people or teams or whatever it is, and you all have the same targets.
Oh, so now you're competing to
Yes.
defeat the target.
And depending on the map, you can have one target or you can have two. There might be three.
Mm.
And you each
Interesting.
have different targets to get to. Now, you can boogie at any point. You can like kill these zombies that are just rolling around, get some XP, and then boogie, and that's
Mhm.
fine. Or you can try and take the target out, or you can be a person hunter and try and hunt the people who are hunting the targets.
Right.
When I played with my wife, we found the target the very first place we went to investigate. We skipped all of the clues. We found the target at the very first place by accident,
Mm-hmm.
killed it, started to do the disenchantment thing, and then got 3 people coming after us because when you're doing the disenchantment thing, a big, huge thundercloud comes in this spectral vision, and everybody knows where you are and what you're doing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's PvPE, kind of.
It sounds kind of cool.
Conceptually, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
The menus leave a lot to be desired because there is
oh
like
no.
a bajillion of them, and spoiler alert, there is also a free-to-play currency in this thing, and there is all this other stuff. It has the Dead by Daylight account level. So you gain XP, your account gains level. The character you play as gains XP as well.
Okay.
When you die, you're just kicked back to the lobby. Your character loses the consumable equipment they have or whatever, but they still have like guns and stuff like that. However,
Uh-oh.
when you hit account level 11 to show that you are past the trainee mode,
Mm-hmm.
if your character dies in the field, they are dead.
Sorry?
Mhm. Now, you can recruit people, like you get like these 4 recruits, and then you pick one and you recruit them, and you can have up to 4 recruits. But once you hit level 11, if they die in the field, they're dead. They're gone, deleted.
If you die
Bye-bye.
in the game, you die in real life.
Yes. This is Kojima
So
special again, set to Discolite.
that's right. So if it's PvPvE,
Mhm.
then that means that your character could potentially be killed by another player fairly easily, which would then permanently kill your character?
Mhm.
That doesn't sound good.
Which would kill your joy of playing the game?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I like roguelikes, and I haven't hit character level 11 yet.
Right.
The second time I played with my wife, we got stonked by a group of 3 who promptly killed us both, and that was the first match she had played where she had hit character level 11.
Oh no.
So she 100% lost that character that she'd been playing with.
Oh boy.
I don't know how I feel about this yet because I haven't progressed to the point where I will lose people yet.
Yeah. Like I get what they're going for, and it's like it sounds like a cool idea if you do it right, but the level of investment there seems risky when there's that PvP element. Like if it was PvE and you didn't play well enough and you played too risky and you sort of punished yourself, that's one thing where it's like, all right, I leveled up my account and that's fine. I lost a guy and I really liked him, but that's fine. I'll find another one. But that for me, that PvP element is sort of like, I got griefed and I lost a character because someone just wanted to mess with my day.
Yeah. And this is 100% a stealth kind of oriented game because it's set in the Wild West times. So let me tell you, reloading takes a while. Like you have a revolver, and when you reload it, he opens the chamber and he loads the bullets one by one.
Right.
And not with one of those quick load mag things where you just go snap, close, done. Not with one of those.
He's got a box of bullets.
Spin, spin. I don't know yet. Is the big thing on this game. I'll probably keep playing it. Like, it's a game that I can play with my wife. We can go in as duos and then match against just duos, because you get bonus XP if you just match in against every single type of opponent. So you can technically go in as a solo, match up against duos and trios.
It sounds cool on paper. Like, I feel like it's one of those games that has a cool design, but maybe never really... Its downfall is that it might not meet its expectations.
So, I mean, I'm going to play a little bit. We'll see how it goes. It looks cool. I love the setting. I love the music. Like, the game plays pretty well. It's very... Wait, is it third person? No, first person. I'm an idiot. It's a first person shooter. It's got... Remember when I started playing the Blair Witch and I said, oh, hey, why don't more games do the whole binaural audio thing?
Right.
Yeah, this does the whole binaural audio thing.
Oh, okay.
Which, when a spider is skittering above your head on the roof and then comes up behind you, and all you can hear is...
I don't like it.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's genuinely terrifying. And everything is designed to give you game away. There's broken glass on the floor. There's geese. There's horses sleeping. There's everything. There's chickens in cages. You take one step towards them, and they all just like, he's over here.
Hello.
It's just like, come on. But the gunshots, you can hear them from miles away. So it is one of those games where like it might pay to be a little bit more careful, maybe.
I looked up the title of this. It is Hunt Showdown. It says Hunt Showdown is a competitive first-person PvP bounty hunting game with heavy PvE elements.
Yep, PvPvE.
Yep.
It's a solid game so far. Whether or not I enjoy it remains to be seen. And I've got one more game this week. Everyone is laughing because everyone follows me on Twitter and knows the stupid thing I did.
Yep.
So I had to go to work on Sunday. I was annoyed. I was distraught. I was fed up about losing my weekend, because I did, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was Friday, and I just got paid, and I was a little bit peeved off. And on the way home, I happened to be perusing Twitter and got a promotion for the next video game I played, which was F1 2020.
Yeah.
And then I go home, and it's like, let me just look at reviews and see what people say.
I like that you're like already 85% sure you're going to buy it.
Well, yeah, because I haven't played a Formula One game since like 2007.
Yeah.
And that was okay, but it wasn't anything great. So I looked up some reviews. And the general consensus seems to be this is probably the best Formula One game that has existed in a long time.
Oh, no.
Including a full career mode, as you would normally get with all the other things. It's got custom leagues where you can race against people and like, have scheduled races like every week or whatever, so that you can take part and race online against your friends. It's got regular matchmaking. It's got, ranked and unranked. It's got Formula One esports spotlights. It's got character customization, car customization, helmets, suits,
skill trees.
We'll get there. But it also has my team mode. which
I've
don't
seen one funny screenshot from this.
don't make them, like I was talking about this with Rob during Dead by Friday. It's not an ultimate team mode. It's not a hockey
Right.
ultimate team. It's not a FIFA ultimate team. This isn't a microtransaction based card game where you have to pull cards out. No, look, you got the shiny gold, silver foil.
Oh, I got
Lewis
purple
Hamilton rookie
wheels.
card.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any of that. My team mode is essentially a career mode
Mhm.
where you come into the Formula One 2020 season as a driver owner of a brand new team.
Oh no, I like that.
So you drive for your own team, which it has happened in Formula One before. There's been several driver owners who like literally drove their own cars
Mhm.
while taking part in the season. And you have to come up with the name, and you have to
Okay.
figure out what the livery wants to be, and you have to figure out what your color scheme is. You have to hire a second driver, pick your engine manufacturer. Spoiler alert: go with Mercedes. It's cheaper than Ferrari, and it's better. And then you have to work your way up the rankings and like get more rep. Get like when you first start the game, your home base is basically just a warehouse with a car sitting in it.
Right.
So you have to develop all of these different departments: your aero department, your durability department, your suspension, your marketing
Drivetrain team.
Drivetrain is literally one of the categories.
Yep.
By the way,
And I know that because Aura Hack on.
don't mention this screenshot because
Okay.
I might mention this in a second.
Okay, I will. I'll let you.
Because I think I know what you're going to say.
I think you're leading to it. Yeah.
And okay, so when you start the game, it's like, oh, it starts you in an interview with, I think it's Lee, is that guy's name, the guy
Okay.
from the Formula One show. I think
The
it's Lee.
cool F1 expert guy.
Yeah, but he introduces you to the game, to this career, this type of mode, because he sits you down and gives you an interview, and you have dialogue choices.
Okay, I like that.
Can
Welcome
you go
back to
rogue?
Drive to Survive.
Like it's asking like a whole bunch of questions. It's like, oh, so what do you think your chances are? It's like, well, it's not so much about me, it's about the team, and that will boost your team morale, or you can get a rivalry going with other rivals.
Oh right,
And
or it's like it's all
these other
about me.
options. Yes, like
All right.
you can do all of this option, and like he's like, what's the most important aspect of your car that you think is gonna do you pretty well? And there's like different departments around the wheels. Like, dude, this is like 2 minutes into the game. I'm just gonna hit up and select the aero department because I know that's very important in Formula One. It's like I think the aero department's done a really solid job. Right at the bottom of the screen, pops up a message that says, "The aero department noticed that."
Yep.
Oh, nice.
The one that Aura Hack posted was the drivetrain team noticed that, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good and so dumb."
It literally has dialogue choices that have consequences for your team.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the second it said the aero department noticed that, I paused the game, I stood up, and I walked away.
Yep.
Because it was just like, did you really just drop a Telltale?
Yeah.
Like a Telltale Games moment on me?
Did you just like Clementine will remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than
So
the,
now you got to really think about it. Is the next time you take that car out, the wheels are going to fall off before you even get out of the pit lane.
Right.
Yeah,
A bunch of your team is in the pit, middle fingers up, and you're like, "I heard that."
Exactly.
But it's other than that being supremely dumb,
Yeah.
it's a really solid management sim.
Mm.
Like before every race weekend, you have to figure out how to allocate your time. So, like, are you going to do a promotional shoot for the new drivers? By the way, my secondary driver was Tatiana Calderon, one of the best female drivers out there. So, me
Nice.
and her, starting from the back of the grid, gonna take some fools over.
That's right.
But it's like you got to figure out your time management. Figure out are you going to focus on marketing, like have like a company sponsored event to get your team name out and about. And you gain XP, which is your notoriety as a team and as a driver, and as your co-driver gets theirs done as well. And then the more notoriety you have, the more sponsors you can sign. The more sponsors you can sign, the more money you get. The more sponsorship goals you fulfill, you get bonuses based on those, which allows you to put more money into the different departments and evolve those departments to get better and better and better.
Okay, cool.
One minor issue with that.
Mm.
Don't use the career mode as your first time playing the game.
Okay.
Do a couple of individual races first, just to nail down the difficulty level.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I say that because I thought, well, I haven't played a Formula One game in a long time.
Mhm.
There is a lot going on this HUD. And go and look at some screenshots of that HUD. There is a lot going on.
I'm looking at it.
You'll hear people talk about the MFD, which is the multifunctional display, which is essentially the LED thing the drivers have in the middle of their steering wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can cycle through like 7 different screens on that thing.
Oh, jeez.
You can radio and like get information about what's going on in the race. You can, choose to call a pit stop early, choose to push a pit stop further back. And it even does that little noise that they do on the Formula One TV shows that shows you're communicating via the radio.
That's cool.
There's a lot going on in here. I thought, like an idiot, I'm just going to start this my career mode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw it on amateur driver difficulty for now, so a whole bunch of assists are turned on.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the default AI at easy, which is 20. It has that scale of 100 difficulty level that I like so much.
Mm.
It starts at 20. And then I started my race weekend in Australia when the season was supposed to start 6 months ago.
Right.
I made a mistake because it was too easy. I'll get that out the way right now. It was so easy.
Okay.
And I was explaining this to my wife. I was like, as a Formula One fan, a new team should not arrive on the paddock and then win the first race. It should not be that simple. The only time that's ever happened was Brawn GP in 2009, I think it was, and that's because they had Ross Brawn behind the wings. And go read about Ross Brawn if you want some really good like F1. Read about that season. That team later became Mercedes, by the way, just for the record books. I should be fighting at the back of the pack. I don't want a rivalry with Lewis Hamilton. I want a rivalry with Kevin Magnussen.
Right.
Which I've just realized for most people listening to this, these are all weird European names that nobody knows.
Right.
But you two guys, having watched Drive to Survive, know who I'm talking about.
Go watch Drive to Survive on Netflix. It's really good.
So I'm trying to tweak the difficulty. So I just started the Australian. I did the whole race weekend. Fun fact, it gives you practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, qualifying, race.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to do them all because you can't simulate them.
Okay.
But it gives you a reason to jump into each individual event because you jump into practice 1. It's like, okay, let's do the track acclimatization run through.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's like, do 3 laps around the track. You will get resource points which you use to develop your car based on how you drive through these like vision cones that show up on each corner and what speed you take those. So at this corner, you should be going around about, 90 mile an hour. If you go through at 90, you get, a little tick, and you have to chain them all the way around every corner.
Okay.
And it gives you goals to like, okay, now you're getting a bit used to the track. That's good. You've done the expected, but you can do better and get even more resource points.
You push a little bit more.
Yeah. And then that comes to your development of your car.
Interesting.
It's like, here is a low fuel run. Here is a race test. Here is a DRS test. Here is a tire management test. Here is a fuel management test.
Right.
And it gives you the exact reasons why Formula One cars have practices before the race. It gives you the reasons why, and it gives you an objective to actually encourage you to go and do those things.
Yeah, because you're getting solid rewards that are boosting your organization, not just your driver.
Exactly.
Or you as the player.
Yes. And it's giving me a reason to do that and then go in the qualifying. And you can choose, by the way, you can choose like length of sessions. Like, so I think my practice sessions are 20 minutes long. My qualifying session is 18 minutes long. And my race distance is currently 25%. Unless you're insane, do not go above 25%. Because it takes me about an hour and a half to do one race weekend.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That's a good time investment, though, like if you want to not simulate everything.
Exactly. So I can go in, I did a race yesterday, 2 races yesterday. Wait, no, I did a race Friday, a race Saturday, and a race today. That's perfect.
Okay.
I don't need to, spend 60 72 laps around the Austrian GP.
Right.
You got your P's and your Q's out of the way.
Exactly. I jumped in. I did the Australia GP. I qualified first. I shouldn't have. My car is not a Mercedes car. My car
Right.
is Anglo-American Racing Incorporated. Thank you very much. Well, I'm doing all this stuff, and I win Australia. So I was like, okay, take off some of the assists. So take off some of the braking assists. Take off some of the start assists. Like, if you have the start assists on, the lights go out. You hit go. That's it.
Okay.
If you turn off the start and assist, you have to hold A to lock the clutch in, rev to the perfect rev, like kind of keep it revved or about the right revs. And then when the lights go out, let go of the clutch so it catches and you go.
Oh, wow.
It's really effective at making you feel super uncomfortable. Spoiler alert, I did a whole bunch of online races just to see what it was like.
Mhm.
And I may or may not have jump started my first ever race. Like 6 seconds before the lights even going close to being out.
Right.
But it does this whole thing, and like I said, like the fuel management thing, like in the practice sessions, it teaches you about lift and coast. It's like, okay, so when you're in a big straight, lift off the gas, coast to the corner, then brake in at the corner to save yourself on some fuel. Because the whole thing with Formula One, if you don't know anything about Formula One, listen to some of the pre-show stuff, especially
Yep.
for the patrons. You'll get a good history there. Formula One cars are tuned to the millisecond to be perfection, and that includes on fuel management. So how much fuel you have in your car. So I'm racing, like I did Australia, I won, it was easy, whatever. Turned the difficulty up for the second race. Still won, but by a considerably shorter margin. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take this a bit more extreme. So I ramped the driver difficulty up to like 56, which is like 4 notches below hard. Turned off a whole bunch more assists. In my last race, I qualified in 4th. So apparently I'm a good qualifier.
Right.
I finished in 17th.
Okay.
That's more like it.
Yeah, like that's a starting organization.
Yeah. I may or may not have had to do 2 pit stops on a 15-lap race because someone messed up my front wing. I'm looking at you signs. Well, it was one of those moments where I'm in that race and I'm in like, I think I was in 19th and I had like 4 laps to go and I just come out the pits and I just had a new front nose put on because why not? So I'm coming out the pits, which you also have to do the clutch, hold the clutch button and throttle it when you get the green light in the pit as well. I did all that. I came out in 19. I was like, okay. I radioed to find out who the driver in front of me was. It was Tatiana Calderon. She's my teammate. So I caught up to her, passed her. Like, okay, who's next in front of me with 2 laps to go? And it turns out I think it was actually Kevin Magnussen and the French guy who drives the Haas as well. Like the 2 Haas's were literally right in front of me. I was like, okay, there's a 6-second gap on them, and I'm on fresh soft tires with a couple of laps to go. And then the guy comes over, like, I think like a lap before that, it would be like, oh, you've got 2 laps of fuel. And then I looked at the corner, I was like, wait, there's 3 laps left to go.
Oh, no.
I think I'm just going to lift and coast for a little bit here just to try and manage my fuel a little bit better. And then as I'm coming over the finish line for my last lap, he's like, okay, you've got enough fuel. Like you've got 2 laps left. You've got 2 laps of fuel. You should be fine. And then he's like, the car in front's like 6 seconds ahead. Let's see what we can do. Let's push now. And I was like, okay, enough of this lift and coast nonsense. I'm full rich fuel mix, full DRS, full airs mode, like sticking everything on high, like turning it up to 11. And then just going for it. And I overtook Magnussen and the other French guy, I can't remember the name of. Romain Grosjean. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Roman the homies. That's how I should remember. I overtook them in the last lap with 2 corners to go, and I got 17th. And I was like, nice. You know what? That was great.
That sounds like a really good race.
Genuinely fun race. And it was on Hanoi, which is the first time Hanoi was supposed to be driven was this year. Obviously it hasn't been because that was 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So that track, by the way, based on this game, really fun to drive, really hard to race on. Kind of similar to Monaco,
Mm.
where it's walls all the way around. It's like you make a mistake and you are going into a wall, and then your front wing's coming off, and then your back wing's coming off, and good luck with the rest of your race.
Right.
But yeah, as soon as that guy said, like, let's push, like, my heart rate went up. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it the beans and see what I can
It's
do.
like, hell
kind
yeah,
of
we're
thing.
pushing.
I was like, okay, this is what Formula One does when you're spectating it. And you know, like, when you hear the radio guy say to Lewis, oh, it's hammer time, Lewis. It's like, go get him, Lewis. Go get him.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Smash that thing to the floor. And it's great. It's fun. It looks gorgeous. It's got the Formula One presentation all over it. It's got the full licenses for everything. The
Nice.
sponsors are all real. It sounds fantastic. There's something really satisfying about that. Doom, 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 when you do like from 8th gear to 1st to go into one of those corners.
Yep.
I'm not manually shifting yet. I might get there eventually. We'll see.
Yeah.
But everything about it is so good. Like, I can even tell you my problems in driving in the game is I'm using a controller at number 1, which is a bad way to play these games, but I don't care. I'm loving it all the same. The impulse triggers on the Xbox One are superb for this because you can feel the rumbles as you're going over the rumble strips on each side or over the curbs.
Mm.
I throttle too hard coming out of corners. I don't have a middle ground. I go from no throttle while I'm turning to like lead foot as soon as I've got even the sight of the corner exit. So every single corner, it feels like my back end is just going squiggle, squiggle, squiggle out of every corner. So I know I need to get better at feathering the throttle a little bit on that front. I turn too sharp or I don't turn sharp enough. So then I'm always constantly correcting because I'm using the stick. And Nymph, you'll know this from Elite Dangerous. It's very hard to get a middle ground.
Yeah.
It's very hard to just
it's either all or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you've got a long, slow corner, and you've literally got to move the stick like less than a quarter of an inch. And you do that, you move a little bit too far, and then suddenly you're heading towards a wall. So then you let go, and you got to reset, and it's the same thing over and over again. But I love this game.
Yeah.
And take my opinion with a grain of salt here, folks, because I am an F1 fan. I love this sport. I love the drama and the politics. And the fact that now I have a career mode, which allows me to, number one, make my own team. And number two, be part of the drama and politics with manufacturers and the races and everything else. It's so stupidly fun. And 25% is about the right distance for me, where it's not too long, it's not too short. I can jump in, do a race, and be done with it, and I feel absolutely fine with the progress I've made. Because, like I said, those practice things, I don't know these tracks. Like, I haven't driven them in years. So having those practice sessions to allow me to get used to each track before I drive it in the race is really good, which is probably why I'm really good at qualifying and really bad in the race itself.
Yeah.
Because me on the track is fine. Me on the track with others, problems.
Right.
But
that sounds really good.
F1 2020 is a hell of a game.
Yeah.
And, I totally forgot to mention, it's developed by Codemasters.
Hell yeah, it is.
So if you know your driving games, you know that Codemasters make some of the hot stuff.
Yeah.
And oh boy, is this a hot stuff game.
Oh, man.
Yes, that's all I've been playing. I love me some Formula One.
All right, Nimp, what have you been playing this past week?
I don't know. I might have to be reevaluating when I'm playing.
It sounds like it.
So this week, starting out, I was playing Bloodborne. I managed to... Bergenworth was the place I couldn't remember last week that had the hunter in it that I needed to go back to. I went back to that, managed to take out that hunter, no issue.
Nice.
And it's a really short area, so right after the hunter, there's a boss door basically right there.
Of course.
Yeah, and this boss is a spider that spawns tiny spiders.
Why is it Spider Week?
I don't know. It just happened to be that way.
Do I have spiders in my game? Oh, no, actually I do.
So I took on Rom, the vacuous spider, and...
It's a gross name as well, by the way.
They're all gross names.
That's true.
Bloodstar Beast. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The fight itself is not very hard. It's just there's a lot happening. The boss doesn't necessarily push you, and the tiny spiders don't necessarily push you. It's just when you get too close. The map is basically, or the arena, I guess, is basically this big, wide open lake that you're fighting on top of. Don't ask, blood magic, whatever. So
with From Software's games, like, you're always going to be fighting some boss on a lake, and it's like, all right, it just looks cool.
Yeah, and it does.
The sword.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it first is there, there's a bunch of tiny spiders there, and it doesn't the boss doesn't necessarily attack you at first. So you can go in there and kill the little spiders to give yourself some breathing room if you want. And the little spiders do a ton of damage. They jump up in the air and they slam into you, or they spit this acid type web thing at you. Or they swipe at you if you get too close. And I'm talking like, it looked like 20 spiders around this boss.
Oh, wow.
So the boss and the tiny spiders have this mask looking thing on, which if you attack the mask, you're doing like 20 points of damage. If you attack their body, you're doing full damage. So with my big greatsword that I have, one swipe, I'm taking down 4 spiders if I can position myself correctly.
Okay.
It then becomes an issue of, okay, so I've taken out a bunch of these spiders. I run in there, start hammering on the boss, and the boss teleports. And when it teleports, it summons new spiders. And it doesn't get rid of the old spiders.
Of course not.
Yeah, and like I said, nothing is chasing you, so there's nothing forcing your hand. The boss has ranged attacks, which if you're just running on the outskirts or just around, it's not going to hit you. So for everything else that I fought in this game, it's a really laid back boss fight.
It seems pretty fair.
Kind of.
Right.
Minus the sword was at least.
Yeah. So I get him down to, it's looking like about 2 swings of my sword and I've got this. The problem is that between figuring out the boss's attacks and trying to aggro all these spiders into a direction so I can get a path to the boss to attack it, because at this point it's teleported like 5 times, so it's a herd of spiders.
A murder of spiders?
Yeah. So I'm trying to aggro these so that I have a path that I can run to the boss so I can get to its side and attack it. So I while avoiding its attacks. So I finally figured out that when it gets ready to do its ranged attack, it raises its head up and it's immobile. And at that point, it's like, okay, so if I run to this side real quick, the spiders will start to move in that direction, and then I can double back, and there's usually a small window there for me to run in between everything, get a couple hits in, and run out. So it's like, all I have to do is get these 2 hits in, boss is done. So I go with that plan, double back, get in there, attack it twice, it's dead. Get kill confirm screen, get the trophy, one of the jumping spiders kill me.
Yep.
There it is.
Okay, great. But I was like, all right, I see this happen all the time, so I probably just have to warp back to it and hopefully not have to fight it again.
Right.
And luckily that was what happened. I basically warped back to because at that point I had a lantern. So in that where the boss was at. So I warped right back to where the boss was at. There's this lady that's just there. I'm like, okay, this was probably the thing that was supposed to happen if I hadn't died.
Right.
So I walk towards her, cutscene ensues, game continues, and now I have 2 areas to go into.
Nice.
But before I do that, I spent about 45 minutes running around on top of this lake trying to find where I died because it's all silvery and everything moves. So to try to find this little red blood spot where in this literal sea of water is very difficult. So I get my stuff back, and now I have these 2 areas that I can go to. One is the what is it? It's the Hidden Village. Yeah, no. The Hidden Village is one of them that I can go to, and the lecture building. is the other one. Or I'm sorry, the Unseen Village, not the
Mm.
Hidden Village. So I'm like, all right, I have these two areas. Let's go check out the Unseen Village. That place sucks. Basically, what makes it suck the most is that when you go into an area, you clear it out, you continue on. The problem is that when you clear out an area, within about 10, 15 seconds, everything respawns.
Oh no.
And you're not getting more experience for killing these guys.
Oh.
And they aggro easily, and there's not a whole lot of places to run at this point in time, because there's this giant Cthulhu-looking thing all over the place that is shooting lasers at you. And not only does it shoot lasers at you, the places it shot lasers at, 2 seconds later, start to blow up.
Oh my god.
So I have this train of mass murderers following me, this Cthulhu thing that's trying to kill me. I can't get anywhere because it's like a ton of things happening at once. I'm like, all right, screw this. I go back, get my stuff, and run back out. And I got to the lecture hall. I'm like, you know what? That's enough for today. I've done enough.
So, out of curiosity, were you playing Bloodstained or were you playing Contra?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, apparently.
So I got to figure out what I got to do in either one of them. The lecture hall, my buddy was telling me he doesn't think I'm at the point where I can do it, because I guess it's 2 floors for that. And he says he doesn't think that I'm at the point where I can get to the 2nd floor just yet.
Okay.
So he's like, you can go ahead and explore it and see where you're at and see if you can get through it and see what happens. But he's like, yeah, good luck with Unseen Village. Nobody likes that place.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
There's
the
one
Blight
in
Town.
every one of those. Yeah.
Mhm.
It feels worse to Blighttown. Because I got through Blighttown no issue.
On the
But-
OG version, it was mostly the frame rate that killed Blighttown.
Yeah. But it's just, I have a certain method of exploring areas, and this is killing that method.
Right.
And I don't like change.
Is it the same as me, where it's thoroughly and ruthlessly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have my big sword, I can just walk in and do what I want, and I can't now.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's also a lie. That's just what I tell myself. So,
Right.
So after that, online I had seen that there was a mod for Dark Souls 3, and for some reason I have that on Steam. I didn't buy it. I don't know if I got it for free or whatever.
Probably.
And I'm not going down the rabbit hole of replaying Dark Souls 3. I just really wanted to check out this mod. And the PC mod is that you can get Kairi from Kingdom Hearts 2 in the game.
I did see that.
And I was like, this seems dumb enough and funny enough to check out.
Yep.
And it is.
Yeah.
And it's really well made.
Nice.
It integrates really well. They changed a couple of her attacks. They also changed the starting sword so that you get her Keyblade.
Great.
The only problem with that Keyblade, it is the actual size of a Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, which means it has really short range.
Aha.
So I managed to get past the first boss. I actually managed to get past the dragon. All told, that's as far as I got. And I was like, all right, I'm done checking this out. It was dumb. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I got past the first boss with no issues. And then I started running into an issue of trying to remember, okay, the sword that I have, the starting sword, should be this long. This should be the range I have. And it is totally not. So when you're trying to take on fast-moving dogs or things with axes that can attack you 5 times if you give them the chance, and you keep missing because you don't have the range in your head of what it should be, it really screws you up.
Right.
Yeah, you get under that stun bounce where it's just like, oh, I'm going to stop you from swinging just because I hit you and stunned you a little bit, and then before you know it, you're taking an axe to the face.
Yeah.
It does have a cool attack, and I can't remember if you get this as a cleric or not. It's been so long since I've played any of the Dark Souls games. But you can hold... She basically positions herself, or she holds her Keyblade at an angle, and you can shoot forward a beam of light. And it looks like the beam of light that Sora uses to unlock or to lock whatever, anything in the game.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of getting used to because your character is kind of stuck in that position for about 3-4 seconds. which is a long time in a Souls game.
Yeah.
So that took some getting used to. But other than that, I mean, it was fun to check it out. It was fun to screw around with it. If you're interested, there's mod websites for you to check it out. Send me a message if you want to know what one it was. But yeah, I think I saw it on a couple web aggregator sites.
Yeah.
And it was cool to mess around. I also streamed it a little bit on Twitch if you just wanted to see it, because I couldn't find any YouTube videos because I just wanted to see how it played. So you can check out my stream on Twitch. I think I played it for like an hour just checking it out.
Nice.
So after that, played a lot of Rocket League with my son this week. A lot of screwing around. He's level 70 whatever now. I'm still like level 12. Things happen. I guess they were doing their 5-year anniversary this week.
Oh wow.
So he's got like a good portion of the balloon currency stuff unlocked, and I'm just like, I might get something for 50 balloons.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a whole lot with that. Just played it more. My random game of the week was my family and I played Oregon Trail.
Okay.
Not the card game that I own. My wife found some website, I think it was like freegames.com or something like that, where it was like one of those archival websites where you can play older games. This is not the Apple II version, which is the one that I've played as a kid with the green and black screen.
Yep.
This was some colored version of it.
Some DOS version.
Yeah. My wife gets our family set up in the game. And it's, yeah. So I think we got 2 turns in, and I was already dead from dysentery. And it's like, all right, I don't have a dog enough. Yeah, I don't have a dog in a fight anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, apparently, they managed, or I think it was my son that managed to get to Oregon by himself.
Whoa.
Because everyone else was dead.
You're the man at the house now, buddy.
Yeah. Like, oh, cool. Good on you.
Yeah.
I walked away and came back several hours later to find my wife still playing Oregon Trail. And on this particular website, she managed to get top 6 of however they score this game. Because I don't remember it ever having scoring before. But yeah, she managed to make it almost with the entire family. And she was top 6 out of everybody. So
wow.
It's like, all right, so is this going to be a new thing for you? And she's like, no, it just really grabbed me this week.
Yeah.
Whatever. Next game off of that flashback to the past was Valkyria Chronicles 4. I stopped playing it just because I wasn't feeling tactical games at the time. I really love the series. I really like this game. It was just I was not feeling, at the time when I picked it up afterwards, playing a tactical game.
Yeah.
But then I started getting back into BattleTech, and I've been playing a lot of another game. So I was like, screw it, let's do this. I really love these games. And I went from Chapter 8 to Chapter 15.
Oh, jeez.
And Chapter 15 is where I'm still at, because there's a lot of things happening that I need to figure out what I'm doing. At this point in the game, you are introduced to an enemy Valkyria, which, for those of you who have never played these games, it's usually a woman.
Yep.
Don't know if it can ever be a guy, but it's usually a woman. They usually have red eyes, and they can shoot blue energy at anything and everything on a map, and it's basically death incarnate.
It's really rough.
Suck the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one famous fight from the first one where they suddenly show up and they're just destroying you.
Yeah. Luckily, I have my tanks modified and upgraded to the point where she can attack our tanks, and it either does no damage or very, very, very little damage.
Like 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can basically stare at her, and there's no issue. The issue is that this map starts you on this ice cape. You're on a frozen ocean. Some bad stuff has gone down, and there is thin ice all over the place.
Oh, God.
And you are in the middle of a pincer attack, and there is a Valkyria to the south of you and this boss tank to the north of you. And the boss tank, its HP is all question marks.
Always a good sign.
And that's the thing you have to kill to beat this particular map.
I love and hate these games so much.
The particular screw job for this one of them, because there's several that I will touch on, is the thin ice.
Yeah.
There are certain areas that your tanks cannot go on because the ice is too thin. However, there are certain areas that your tanks can go on.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and it works both ways, if something is on thin ice and you blow it up, whatever was there is automatically destroyed because it sunk through the ice.
Oh, right,
Okay.
right.
I haven't had this issue, but I have used it to the fullest extent of my advantage that I could.
Right. It's just like in Gears 5, where it's like, I'm just going to destroy the ice under you and just take care of the problem.
Yep.
Yep.
So, number 2 screw job is that the Valkyria and the tank can go full-on Voltron in this thing.
Oh, no.
And literally set up a dead zone that is a quarter of the map.
Jeez.
And there is no hiding from it. It's just, there is a block of red that shows up, and it's
Right.
basically like, get out of here.
Like 16 by 16, like you just got to escape it.
So, the mini-map, it shows when you have units in that area.
Mhm.
And it's just this little red hashed ring that says, hey, your tanks are here. And it shouldn't be. It's like, all right, cool.
Right.
Let me move my tanks, because normally when you have a ring on the map, it's a stationary hit. It's like, okay, if I get them out of that ring, they're fine. No, it's when you pull out into the command map, it's this entire block that is kind of faded.
Right.
So I move my stuff out of that ring thinking, okay, they should be okay. It does its attack. I lose 5 soldiers,
Oh.
1 tank,
Hey.
and the other tank is severely damaged and can't move.
Oh, God.
And this was round 3.
There it is.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, restart this map.
Yeah.
Let's try this again. And I think I'm on my 4th attempt at this map right now,
Mm-hmm.
and still haven't fully figured out what I need to do just yet.
Right.
So it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
I still love the game. I think I have a pretty good idea on what I need to be doing. It's just getting everybody and everything moved into proper positions. That way I can cover my units and still be able to scram when stuff goes down. Because it's basically an order that they do when they combine the Valkyria with the tank. And it's not like it's every round. And I would assume it has a cooldown. So I also was able to get that tank to get away from the Valkyria. So I'm thinking if I can get it to come back up to the north side of the map somehow and just kind of separate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I start running into the issue of now I have my forces separated between the south end of the map and the north end of my map.
Right.
And normally that's a really bad thing, but I'm
Yes.
thinking I'm going to have to do this.
Oh, man.
So, and then it's just trying to pay attention to all that thin ice because it's everywhere, and I know that's going to screw me over one of these runs, and I'm not going to be very happy about it.
Yeah.
Besides all that, though, still really like the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully, I believe it's the same as the first game, where it's only got 18 story chapters, and there's a bunch of little like intermission chapters as well. So I'm right there.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it doesn't do what Valkyria 1 and 2 and 3 does, where the last map is something that I'm just stuck on for a couple months because there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, because the first game, you have that massive ship, and that was
That's
not
right.
fun.
Yeah.
So
God.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not fighting 6 Valkyria at once, because that might actually throw me from the series.
Fingers crossed.
Last game that I played today was Utawareremono. Moro? I am never going to get this damn name.
I think it's the first one.
Yes. Prelude to the Fallen. I've beaten this game this week.
Nice.
really fun. Really enjoyed it. It put me at about 40 hours.
That's good.
A lot of that was just staring at a screen and just letting the story play, which I really enjoyed.
That's the good stuff.
And the fights get a lot better, and the end boss gets a lot tougher.
Oh, well, okay.
I managed to make it throughout this entire game without grinding any levels or anything, because usually it keeps you right about where you need to be for each fight to continue on, so you don't need to grind. The final boss, I still did not grind, but that really pushed the tactician in me to figure out what I needed to do and to figure it out fast, because there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of attacks that almost one-shot you, and you have one healer.
Oh, wow.
And you are playing with your full party of 14 characters.
Right.
So there was a lot of rotations happening with, okay, you have full health, you move up, you have 1 health, you come back.
Right.
And then basically this roulette of these characters walking around my healer, so that way, okay, she healed him so he can move and go, move the next guy up, and
get back on the field.
Just, yeah. And then it kind of came down to the wire of eventually I started doing a lot more damage, because you're not doing, like, the final boss has the most hit points out of anything in this game at like 3,600 hit points.
Oh, Jesus.
And you're doing 100 points of damage with your strongest character. That was just doing 1,000 points of damage the map before this map.
Right.
Yeah. So between doing the final strikes, which would bump you up to about 600, depending on the character that you were using, and your regular attacks, it was basically just, okay, I just need to keep people healthy and keep the rotation up. And I had characters that were doing 2 points of damage against this thing that I was like, you know what? It's 2 points of damage at this point. I don't care.
Right.
Get out there.
Right.
Be a target. That way the things that I have to heal aren't the target. And let's just keep this thing going. And it kind of got to the point closer to the end where I'm down to the last section. It's the final form. And they are doing enough damage that they are gaining enough experience that they start to level up. Just about every two turns, they're leveling up.
Okay.
So it's a race against the clock of, okay, he just took 600 points of damage. He is down to 25 health. But hopefully this next attack that I do is enough to level him up, so that way it boosts him back up to full health.
Ah, right.
And it should charge his zeal, so that way I should be able to hit his final strike. And it was just a weird gamble that I've never had to do in these games before, and luckily I was able to get it to pay off.
Yeah.
So
some real XCOM, like 45% chance to hit, and you're like, I'm just gonna do it.
Dude, the amount of times, oh my god. But yes.
Yeah.
Love the series, love the story, fun game.
Yeah.
Go play it if you haven't already. PS4, Vita, it's all there, except for this one. Well, no, actually, yeah, this one is on the Vita, digital only.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yeah.
But that's all I've been playing this week. What about you, Boston?
I got my Joy-Cons back already.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
So, what, did you get them back broken or did you get them back fixed?
So I got brand new ones back.
Nice.
I got an email from Nintendo that were like, okay, we received them. We're taking a look at them. Just hang out. Next day, I got an email where it's like, all right, they're shipped. See you later. And then the next day, they were in my mailbox. It's like, wow, okay. They very clearly just sent me brand new ones, which makes sense. I also know that because they didn't have the firmware updated on them. So they are definitely brand new ones.
Nice.
And they seem good so far, which I hope they would, because they're brand new. If I got broken brand new ones, I would probably be pretty upset.
I honestly thought you were going to say you got new ones because you didn't have all that child gunk in them anymore.
Yeah. Oh, she doesn't get to use my Switch. She's not to be trusted with it yet.
Yeah, mine aren't allowed to pull it out of the dock. Whereas they get sternly yelled at.
That's a smart choice.
Yeah. But yeah, I just sent mine out this past Friday too, so
nice.
See what happens.
Yeah, it took them a couple days to they got it, and it took a couple days for it to get up in the queue. But once it did, it just kind of, they clearly looked at it and said, "Oh, this is a drift. Toss them out, and we'll just send them new ones." So it was pretty easy. I played more Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am finally done with Wall Market. Thank God. It ended pretty nicely. I'm glad they kept the different dialogue between Aerith and Tifa when they're threatening Don Corneo. That's some of my favorite translation stuff from the original, and it's nice to have them carried over. It is the first time in this game where I felt like the section was way too long. There's just like, I thought I was almost done, and there's like, nope, here's a fetch quest where they don't give you quest markers, and here's a rhythm mini game there, which was kind of fun. But like, there's a rhythm mini game they're having you do, and here's a bunch of other stuff. It's just like, oh my, please, I just want to keep going, please.
Go find this person in a back alley that you didn't know existed and that you didn't know you could access.
I like ran into him once. The guy's like, oh, go meet a bunch of sick people around town. It's like, dude,
Yep.
This
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, and it's like, I had run into that dude before, and it's just like, yeah, it's a guy in a back alley behind a bar throwing up. Of course it is. Like, and they're like, yeah, remember that guy? It's like, no. So I looked that up, and it's just like, it's this guy over here, it's this guy over there. It's like, okay, thank you. But I'm done with it. Cloud and Address was still really great. I got like the best dress for Aerith because I had done all the side quests. I had seen some people online originally. They're like, you have to do all the side quests for the best Aerith dress, and I'm like, you're not doing all the side quests? Why?
Have you played a JRPG before?
Right, like what are you doing, man? And then I got the really weird one for Tifa because I picked, and the choice, I think I picked something like sporty, and hers was.
So you got her Chung-Li looking one?
Yeah, like her Chun-Li one, which was not great. It wouldn't be my preference. But yeah, sort of motoring on with Final Fantasy VII Remake now. I'm hoping that I'm going to kind of pick up steam again now that I'm past the incredibly extended wall market scene.
Well, hang on. You skipped over the important dress. What'd you get for Cloud?
I didn't know that there were multiple ones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't even know. It was like a purple, like...
The purple black one?
Yeah, purple and black one. Yeah.
It looks really good on him.
Yeah. It's
he
funny
it off
because...
really well.
Yeah, like, it's funny because it's nice that the remake never really makes fun of Cloud. You know, that was always the concern, where it's sort of like, haha, cross-dressing. It's like, it's been a long time since the first one came out, so it's like the culture, society and culture is a lot different. And Cloud is obviously uncomfortable, but no one ever really makes fun of him about it, and it's just like a means to an end. He's like, I have to go do this to save Tifa, and I'm not going to let Aerith go in there by herself for obvious reasons, so I will just put on a dress. Don't look at me. We're going to get this done.
Yeah, I just thought it was really funny when Aerith was trying to comfort him, and he's staring at a wall, and he's like, don't talk to me. Yeah. Don't look at me. Yeah. Just go.
This never happened. It's really great because it's like the only time you control another character, and it's her chasing after Cloud and just like, Cloud, hello, and he's saying nothing. He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
But you look really cute. Don't look at me.
Yes.
I think the white dress is my favorite one for Cloud.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that.
You just look them up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moon has it here on... Oh, the white dress is really good. Yeah, I have the one on the left. The like blue and black one. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake is still really good. That battle system is really great. Like that game a lot.
I'll play it eventually.
Yeah, like maybe in like 30 years when the whole thing is done, like you can just get the box set on your PS7 and just kind of knock it all out at once.
I think you'll find it's called the Xbox Infinite.
That's right. I played more 2 Point Hospital. I finally unlocked the hospital that I have been trying to unlock. It's called Overgrowth. The reason I've been doing that is because it has a different mechanic to it, and it's huge. I think it has 35 plots, but you don't purchase each plot. You have to unlock them by doing objectives. So it's like you'll unlock a plot by doing completing 2 marketing campaigns, and then you'll be able to unlock that one. Unlock it by curing 30 people and like having an average cure rate of 50%. So that one has been fairly fun, but I'll get to my problems here in a minute. I got to 1 star on that, and I unlocked what seems to be the final level of the summer DLC, because the final level of the winter one was that really difficult castle. This one is
It's also where you unlock the room that you sent me the photo of.
That was on Overgrowth. I totally forgotten about that. Yeah, it was so for anyone that's not playing it, most of the rooms are 3x3. So it's a square, and you can line up a whole bunch of squares. Some of them are 4x4, some of them are 4x3, but you're kind of around that area. The urban destruction one was like 5x6 or something like that. It was a fairly large one. This one was 9x5, like massively huge. Really funny though. It's a really good joke about what they're what are they? They're curing wanderlust, and it's a really good one, but massively gigantically huge. So I got 1 star in that, which unlocked Topless Mountain, which is really interesting. And here's where I have my problems, which I'll get to after I talk about the bonuses. The whole thing about this mountain is it's like in the farthest reaches of the planet, on top of this mountain that's like naturally flat, and they have a whole bunch of ruins there. So you're sort of excavating ruins and turning those into hospital buildings.
Okay.
But how patients come to you, because it's so remote, isn't...
Helicopter?
Yes, but not like normal. They come in waves. So you get dumped like 30 to 50 people at once, and they all land at the same time. You chew through them, and then once you cure all of them, you have like 2 weeks, and then you'll have another wave. And the next wave will be even bigger. So basically, each wave grows by about 5 people.
So it's a horde mode for hospitals.
Essentially, yeah. And they're like all but calling it that. It's really cool because you really have to have your hospital the most efficient it can possibly be, because you need to get people in there, but not too fast, and like really dole out how quickly they get to GP's offices, have absolutely every treatment facility built, because you have to meet a minimum percentage of people treated to get the next wave. And it seems so far like it's 55%. And it's really, really cool. And it's nice to see them take something so different like Overgrowth was and deal with it in such a different way. But I kind of think I'm done playing this game because of the natural disasters. Because the problem is, it feels like every other month I have a natural disaster come through that damages each and every one of my machines that are all being used by all my patients. And if I hire too many janitors, it's hitting my bottom line too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm losing money each and every month. And one of my biggest problems with this game is when you upgrade your machines, they increase in effectiveness. So it's either they get better at treating people or they get better at diagnosing people, but they don't increase in like resiliency.
Endurance.
Yeah, so they don't have like more health or more uses or whatever you want to call it, whatever that bar represents. I think that's a real problem. Either this game needs to have an easy mode where the natural disasters happen way less frequently or never at all, or upgrading your machines needs to increase their durability or whatever. Because without that, I feel like I'm always playing catch up, and the older your hospital gets, the more people are going to come that's just going to use those machines more frequently. So it's like, I feel like at the beginning of the game, that never really became a problem because you're just running your hospital and you're managing normal wear and tear. But all of these natural disasters, I think, is a real... I know it's supposed to increase the difficulty, but I feel like it does it too much, and it swings past being challenging, and it swings into being too difficult.
Yeah.
And I really like this game. I mean, I've been playing it for almost this entire year. So, like, obviously I like the game, and it's really great. I just feel like that end game difficulty, which should be difficult in and of itself, and it is running in these hospitals, it shouldn't have that extra layer of difficulty on it. That's what's really pushing me away from the game. Because the difficulty that I have fun with is you have this giant sprawling hospital that is going to have a patient come in that needs every type of cure. So you have to have your hospital laid out and provide every service that's possible. And that, to me, is the fun sort of challenge, not this. I have a rain of frogs, and now all my machines are damaged. That is really frustrating.
You like spreadsheet fun.
Yeah, and I would rather do the management stuff rather than... I would almost like it to be more like the old SimCity games, where it happens once in a while, it's maybe more impactful, but it doesn't... it's not happening multiple times a year. It's maybe happening once every couple of years, and it's really damaging. I think I'd prefer that, where it's like, all right, now I have to sort of scramble to clean up and maybe replace all these machines that exploded, as opposed to kind of doing all this management. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like I still have a whole bunch of hospitals to unlock. So like I kind of want to continue to see all the content the game has, but I'm pretty frustrated by it. My last game this week, I regret to inform everyone, Soda Dungeon 2 has released.
I have no idea what that is.
Soda Dungeon came out... It's a mobile game that came out a couple years ago, and it sort of took this podcast by storm. It's essentially an auto-battling RPG.
Where I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember a different name.
Okay. You might be thinking of Nonstop Night, but that's the
one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's more like an auto-battling roguelike. This is really interesting because essentially you have 6 characters. It was 5 in the first one. And you're kind of letting their AI battle through the floors of this dungeon. You can fight by yourself, but that's kind of not the point. You're sort of pushing your team as far as it can go every run, and sometimes you'll only get like 1 more floor passed. Sometimes you'll get 25. You're going to get better loot. You're going to equip that on your party, and you're going to send them back in to try and get even further.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, this game is really good.
It tells you how much I did not play it, though, because I literally can't even remember the name of it.
Yeah. The best part about this is it's genuinely free. You can watch ads to, like, replenish your team's HP back to full if they fall in the dungeon, but you're not going to because that's kind of not the point. It is like a roguelike where it's like your whole party died. You're going to go back to town and get 6 more dummies that's going to follow you into the dungeon, and then you'll try and get further until they die and keep trying. But it genuinely is free. I bought like the $2 pack that it's basically like the support this game pack. It gives you a whole bunch of bonuses, but it's kind of inside baseball, so I'm not going to get into it. The benefit that this one is so much better designed than the first one in so many ways. One of the frustrating parts about the first one is, let me back up. By the time you beat the boss of the dungeon, essentially what you want to do is travel to another dimension to start that dungeon from floor 1, but you're carrying your bonuses from the previous dimension. So you're carrying like all the town upgrades you have, you're carrying any like levels that your individual classes have gotten. So like you are starting from the beginning, but you have so many extra bonuses, you're really flying through the beginning. So that wasn't really clear in the first game. So like the first game, the first dungeon was 100 floors, and it's going to take you a really long time to get there. And by the time you reset it, it's sort of like, oh, I start back over. I just spent like dozens of hours doing this. You reset your first dimension in this game within like the first hour. Like it really pushes you through. It says, by the way, here's the real point of the game. You've finished the first 100 floors. Go to the next dimension. Now that one is 200 floors. If you beat that one, you're going to rinse and repeat, but we're going to add 100 floors every time. And one of the frustrating points of the first one was only after you went to another dimension, the first one, were you able to start boosting your character classes. In this one, now each one of your classes gains XP while you're in the dungeon, and you can boost them the same way you did the previous ones. So you're kind of... It's the great part that we on We Roguelike It like about roguelikes, where I went in the dungeon, I didn't make a ton of progress, but maybe my Huntress class leveled up, so now she has 2 more MP, so now she can use her skills maybe one more time when we're in the dungeon. So you're making incremental progress slowly, but it feels like it's way more rewarding than the first one, where you're going to do a run and you're going to get something out of it, and that feels really great. So I highly, highly recommend go check out Soda Dungeon 2. It just came out. It's out on Steam, iOS, and Android. It's free on iOS and Android, and it legitimately is free. It's not like reset your first dimension for $2. It's nothing like that. And it's really great. It took everything that made the first one so addictive and made me play that for months on end, and just kind of redesigns it all to make it way smoother and way more satisfying. So nice. And it murders your battery, and it is totally worth it. So go check out Soda Dungeon 2. It's really good. That's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yeah, I remember playing the first one when you guys were, and I think I had gotten to that point where it was like my phone was just on to run the game, but I wasn't necessarily doing anything with it, and I'm like, why the hell am I even doing this?
It's just plugged in next to you, and it's like, all right, start back at floor 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after Nonstop Night, I was just like, nope, I'm okay.
Yeah. I like this one much better than Nonstop Night, because I think Nonstop Night... It very quickly showed it didn't have the level of depth that I think this one does. And I think they made some really great changes.
Well, for me, it was a case of like, it was around about the time I got a new phone, and it was like, nope, no games are touching this phone because I want it to last as long as I can, and now it's my Marvel Strike Force device.
That's right.
Well, yeah, because you've had it for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's text and talk to my wife, Marvel Strike Force. My work phone as well, for some reason I do not know why.
Right.
And also, it's my let's just play Marvel Strike Force. But that's also my tablet. Like,
right.
When I'm at home, it's like, okay, I'm going to play Marvel Strike Force on my tablet because number 1, it looks better. Number 2, it can run the game.
Right.
My phone
and you can just like auto battle a bunch of grindy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of work phones, I took my phone number off of my email signature and put my Skype phone number on there.
Smart.
And my boss was like, "Why did you do that?" It's like, because I don't want people calling me when they figure out that I'm the tech, because I am not 24 hours unless I'm on call.
You can pay me 24 hours if you want.
Yeah. And it's like, we have it set up so that way we have a, like if anyone calls service desk, they have our on-call numbers where it's set up through a server.
Oh, and
so
they can like forward it to...
Yeah, so all they have to do is just call the hotline. We put in our phone numbers in there for whoever's on call, and it automatically connects to whoever's on call.
Right.
Like, that's how it needs to be. Yep. Nobody needs to know what my personal phone number is.
Nope.
It's either you call me on the Skype number on my laptop for work, or you don't call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people from work try and call me about work-related stuff outside of work. It's like, look, this is my personal phone.
Yeah.
Use it at work time to your pleasure. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Because I honestly don't mind. Literally, my phone is full of texts to my wife and then work people. That's it.
Yeah.
And occasional messages between me and Boston. I speak to everybody else on Discord, Twitter, whatever. But it's like, you fucking call me when I'm not in work, or when I'm in work, that's fine. I'll pick up. But if you're calling me on fucking Saturday at 3 o'clock in the morning because of some bullshit you don't know, guess what, motherfucker? You're getting hung up on.
Yeah, I'm letting it ring.
Because I ain't fucking talking to you. I'm not even letting it ring. I'm literally sending them to voicemail. It's like,
oh yeah, just like very clearly, like, I have seen your call and I'm rejecting it.
I was gonna say, because the only time my phone is not on silent is when I'm on call, because the only other person I talk to is my wife, and she's either in the house with me or I know she's gone, so I have my phone with me and I know to answer it.
Right.
Outside of that, I don't care who you are. I mean, I saw the text message from Boston earlier and I responded.
Sure, but I'm not calling you.
Yeah.
It's not an emergency.
I mean, like, outside of that, I don't care who you are. I'm not picking up.
Yeah. It's all just going to be a robocall instead. You know.
Yeah. So.
All right. You guys ready to wrap this thing? Ooh, it's really late. Okay. You guys ready to wrap this thing up?
I thought you were going to say wrap this good.
Yep. Ready to wrap this good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of June 13th. It's July. July 13th, 2020. Yeah. Jesus. Hyperscape comes out to open beta on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is Ubisoft's new Battle Royale. That sentence has already sold you or not sold you on it, so that's about all you need to know.
Yeah. Everybody says...
Death Stranding comes out on PC. I bet that looks really good. If that has ultra-wide support, which I would hope it would, man, that would look really good.
I can't wait to see the dumb mods for that game.
100%.
Dude, Thomas the Tank Engine is BT.
Yes, please. Yep. Or just a whale in the sky. Whatever.
Yep. Cannot wait for it. Rocket Arena comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is multiplayer. Ubisoft is putting this one out too? No, EA is putting this one out too. So
yeah. It's an EA Partners game. It's not made by EA. They bought the rights to publish it, and they're putting it out. But number one, it's a multiplayer game. Number two, it's called Rocket Arena. And number three, it's out by EA. That's 3 strikes right against me.
How dare they use the Rocket Arena name? Man, jerks. Story Seasons Friends of Mineral Town comes out PC and Switch.
Oh no, that sounds like a Harvest Moon game.
Sure is. It's that like there was like some rights and licensing thing that happened, so it essentially it's Harvest Moon under a different name. Super Hot Mind Control Delete comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is a new expansion for Super Hot with procedurally generated roguelike levels.
Add it to the list, Boston. It's only the most innovative first-person shooter I've ever played.
That's right. It sounds so dangerous. Ghost of Tsushima comes out on PS4, which...
Boy, did I forget that thing was coming out.
I feel like that snuck up. Like, I feel like they just showed trailers of that, and I was like, yeah, this is coming out in, like, September or whatever. And it's like, nope.
It was one of the few games that barely got pushed back, too.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like just coming out right after, like 2 or 3 weeks after Last of Us 2. So like,
Yeah.
if you like these types of games, it's good eating right now.
The PlayStation brand of games.
Yeah.
I will continue to get flack for that, and I will continue to stand by my opinion on that.
What's your opinion?
All PlayStation first-party exclusives are third-person character adventure games in one form or another.
Of course
Last
they are,
of
yeah.
Us, Uncharted,
God of War.
Spider-Man, God of War,
Yep.
this,
Tsushima.
the lightning game with the powers and the zippity zappities, whatever
Infamous.
that's called.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes. You're not wrong.
It's
They are all the
made
same
by Sucker Punch, which made Infamous, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Moon, you can't be wrong for saying facts. Like, yeah. And lastly, Paper Mario: The Origami Kingdom comes out on Switch. I'm really excited for this game because I'm really pumped that they are significantly changing the battle system on this.
It looks complicated as all kinds of hell, and
Yeah,
that's
like-
a good thing for Paper Mario series.
There's 4 spinning concentric circles that you need to line up to hit as many enemies as you can all at once. And then you're in the middle, and then the bosses reverse that. And it's like, yeah, man, that looks cool.
Mhm.
That's great. Let's talk about news stories. There's a rumor this week that Microsoft is telling developers and publishers they are not allowed to charge for smart delivery. That's it.
Good.
That's awesome. Good job, Microsoft. Like, you should. I feel like they're like, everyone's like side-eyeing EA, where it's like,
Everybody's side-eyeing 2K after what they tried to pull.
yeah.
You
I feel
get
like
a
both
free
of them are
upgrade
the
as
same
long
at
as
this
you
point.
pay $100 for the premium version of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Go away.
God. Yeah. So, yeah, it's nice to see that this is clearly a rumor, but enough people are coming out and saying, like, yeah, Microsoft's saying, like, don't charge for it, which, of course, you don't charge for it. Come on. Yeah, good on it. Microsoft next Xbox Series X game showcase is coming on the 23rd of this month. This is the one that is expected to show off first-party games. The last one was third-party stuff. What's that?
All 3 of them.
Yeah,
I get it's long been a thing with Microsoft. Oh,
Yeah.
do they have any first-party games?
well, I feel like this is a really interesting one from them. Obviously, they're going to show Halo Infinite. Like, that's going to be probably their big one. But I'm really curious to show, like, see how much are they going to show of Psychonauts 2, because that's a first-party game now. How much are they going to show of that Backyard Honey I Shrunk the Kids game?
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know.
I was going to
Whatever.
say Onward, but that's that Disney movie that I like that nobody else does. But like beyond that, there's the new Rare game, and
There's the Headspace character action emotional trauma sequel. Not a Plague's Tale, the other one.
Sinuous Sacrifice.
Yes, that has
Yeah.
a sequel announced.
That's true. Yeah. And I feel like this is a real opportunity for them to say, look, we've been purchasing about every studio we can get our hands on. Here's what every single one of them is working on. Like, I don't think they have to be something significant. It could even be like, here's kind of like a cool teaser thing. This studio is working on this thing. This studio is working on this other thing. I think it's a real good opportunity for them to say, here are the games that are coming out at launch or kind of in our launch window. Here's all the cool technology behind them. And here's all the stuff that's kind of off in the distance a little bit, but teams are all working on stuff.
Oh, and by the way, here is Cyberpunk 2077. We bought them
Right.
too.
Just for no reason. Here's just, this game still looks cool. Whatever, here you go. Yeah, probably. Devolver Digital had their direct this week.
Can we talk about that tease image that the Devolver tweeted as the best tease image for this ever?
Which one?
The one they posted on Twitter, where is the lady who does all of their presentations just getting
Nina?
the makeup brush,
Yep.
getting the makeup brush on the face.
Yep,
Like
it's really
just
good.
that face with the makeup brush is like, I know what's coming, and it's
Yep.
gonna be good.
I unfortunately haven't had a chance to watch the full thing. I've watched some of the trailers of stuff, and I've pulled out kind of the standouts here. Shadow Warrior 3 was announced previously, but there's some gameplay here. Has a grappling hook, which is probably going to be really great. they call it a return to form, whatever that means. I'm assuming they're getting rid of the like loot drops from the second one.
Probably.
Because seemingly nobody played that game, and most people don't know it was like a Diablo-style loot drop game. It's going to be out 2021 for PC. That's the only platform announced so far, but I mean, come on. I mean, it's going to come out on everything.
Yep.
Fall Guys, that like Takeshi's Castle multiplayer running through stuff cute game, comes out on August 4th for PS4 and PC. Expecting that to be a timed exclusive because you want to put that on everything, including Switch. So I'm assuming that'll be coming in a couple of months. Carrion, that game they're calling a reverse horror game where you play as the giant amorphous monster blob and you eat scientists and get bigger. That's coming out July 23rd.
What's
PC,
that? What's that? It says at the end of the show notes.
PC, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Game Pass day and date.
I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I was already in just because it looks
Gross.
like the ultimate Devolver Digital published game, where it's just like, I know it's going to be fun, I know it's going to be really weird, and it's going to be one of those games that you play for a while and you're like, I've never played anything like this before. This is incredible. And lastly, they put out a free thing called Devolverland Expo. They call it a marketing simulator where you explore an abandoned, definitely not E3, Devolver Digital Marketing Expo. Devolver Digital is really great. two thumbs up for them. Ubisoft also had their Ubisoft Forward today, which I watched. It was like 45 minutes.
I chose Formula One over this.
Yeah, not a bad
sleep.
choice. Yeah. The three standouts of this one, they showed off a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff you're really not going to care about. A lot of stuff is like, Rainbow Six Siege has 60 million players. We're just getting started. It's like, I know. Everyone, if you're not playing Siege, it's because you don't like it. Everyone's playing Siege. We got it. They showed off a ton of stuff from Watch Dogs Legion, finally. They showed off a definitely apolitical short film before they showed off the gameplay that is definitely not political at all.
I cannot wait for them to start spouting about how everything is just not political in the slightest.
It's really great. The game finally got a release date of October 29th, 2020. It is only listed for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, which probably makes a lot of sense because that is probably around the time when the new consoles are launching. So they probably can't say like also available on PS5, like day and date, because then, you know, that game still looks really great, and they are still leaning into. They showed off a lot more stuff of the people you're recruiting from around London have their own skills and weapon types and stuff like that. So they're really leaning a lot more into. It's not just, oh, this grandma's hilarious because she's old. It's like, no, she has a specific skill set that allows her to like stealth into places and do stuff that other characters can't. So they show off a lot of like Hitman style stuff where it's like, this guy is a construction worker, so he can just walk right into this construction site and do stuff. So looks really great. I'm still really excited about that. Please, people, go play Watch Dogs 2. It's really great.
I literally have it and I've never launched it.
It's really great, and if you're listening to the show, you probably didn't play it, and that's a bummer because it was really good.
Yeah, I still can't get over the first one.
Yeah, the second one is so much better, and
you keep saying that, but the first one left such a mark on me that I'm like, this series is a wash.
I totally understand. Like I
liked the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that one mission with the stupid fire truck, and I was talking to somebody earlier this week about it. Everything to that point was fine. It's that one GD mission.
So Moon and I were talking about a divisive cult favorite Fast Saga movie, And if it's at the top of your list, we would understand. And if it's at the bottom of your list, we would understand. I feel like that's Watch Dogs, where like I totally understand if you loved it and you don't want to play any of the rest of the games because you're once bitten, twice shy. I get it. And if you hated it and you're once bitten, twice shy, I totally get it too. Like that first one was so something that I don't blame anyone for being like, no, man, I'm not, don't even care. I get it. They showed off a whole bunch of stuff of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They showed off a lot of gameplay this time. They focused a lot on different enemy types and a lot of different movement options that enemies have and different attack patterns and stuff like that, which probably won't make a difference in the end game, and that's fine. They really focused on, hey, you can dual wield anything in the games. 2 axes, 2 hammers, 2 shields, whatever. You can just do whatever. The 2 shield play style does actually look really fun. But yeah, I mean, it largely looks like that game. Some gameplay of that leaked the other day, and it looks like Assassin's Creed. So I not a lot to talk about here. The worst kept secret they closed with one more thing, which was the worst kept thing this week, which was Far Cry 6. They showed off a CG announcement trailer, which basically just looks like it's a prequel to 3, where Voss is a kid, and it looks like a Far Cry game.
I'm guessing there's also totally apolitical in that as well.
It could not be more apolitical. Yeah, it is.
What?
You should watch that trailer. It's funny. I think watching this, I think I realize I don't care about the Far Cry series anymore. I
think I realized that after 4.
I played 3 and I played 4 and I liked both, and I think I'm good because unless they're materially different, I just can't. I can't get excited about them.
Keep in mind, this is Far Cry 5, and I'm pretty sure there has been 2 other Far Cry games since 4 came out.
This is Far Cry 6.
Oh, 6. Sorry.
Yeah.
There has been.
Yeah. There was 5.
Since 5, there's been 2 more, because I'm pretty sure there's Origins or Tribal or whatever it's called. And then there was New Dawn as well.
Yeah, New Dawn was after 5. That Primal was after 4? Probably. Yeah. Who knows?
Too many Far Cry games.
I don't know, and at this point, I don't even really care because I'm not going to play it anymore. It's a great series, and they're a lot of fun to play, and I just don't want to anymore. Okay. The surprising thing that Ubisoft also announced at the same time is they're going to be doing another one of these later this year. So it's not just a not E3 thing; it's also couple months down the road, we're gonna check in on all these games and announce a couple new ones. So I think it seems like everyone is gonna have their own direct every couple of months now, which sure, that's fine. Mm-hmm. I'll take that. No big deal. All right, let's move on to questions here. T-Bomb Rock says Xbox has announced an event with 70 demos, which I did not know about, so I feel like it should be promoted a little more heavily, maybe. Do you plan on participating? And if so, what's your plan of attack? Have you heard any rumored games to play?
Nope, I don't play demos anymore.
I might just to check out. I don't have a particular game I'm looking for, but I might just scroll through it just to see what's there, and then cherry pick what looks interesting to me. But yeah, I only heard about it towards the end of this past week. That I heard someone mention it in passing. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, looking at Microsoft's press release, it's going to be on Xbox One for July 21st through the 27th, and they're going to have somewhere between 75 and 100 games. It seems like there's not a specific thing, and it just seems like a lot of these games are going to have a vertical slice that's going to be kind of presented. Skatebird is on there, Haven, Destroy All Humans, Chris Tales. There seems like they're kind of... There's a whole bunch of games across a bunch of different genres, which I think is great, but I couldn't really... Number one, I don't have my Xbox One hooked up anymore, and number two, when am I going to have time to find...
What?
Yes.
Rewind a second.
It's not even HDMI is not plugged into my TV.
Dude, Descenders. How many times do I have to say Descenders and you have to download it before you'll actually play it?
Yeah, at this point I would rather just grab it from Game Pass on PC and just play it like that. Because my Xbox One is ailing. It needs to move to a nice farm upstate pretty soon. Maybe later this year. Yeah, maybe later this year when Series X comes out.
During the whole lockdown time period, one of my wife's colleagues is an outdoor guy and likes doing things outdoors and stuff, and was going slowly crazy because of the whole lockdown thing.
Yeah.
So my wife was like, "Look, we have an Xbox. Here is an Xbox. Here's 2 controllers. Here's 2 headsets.
Right.
You and your wife, we've put 6 months worth of Game Pass on it for you, which we got for a steal. So
right.
take this original Xbox, go nuts, have some fun with it, play it." And now that everything's coming out of lockdown here slowly but surely, like they're back and working, it was like, oh, I can give it back to you. And my wife was just like, dude, it's fine. And he's like, well, at least let me give you like a couple $100 for it. And I was like, dude, it's an OG Xbox. It's a launch day Xbox.
Yeah, like it's not
like, no, you're
buy
fine.
me a sandwich.
Yeah. Literally, he gave me 2 cookies.
Yeah.
It's like, that's about right.
Yeah. So I really appreciate what Jeff Keighley and his team are doing for the Summer Games Fest, and like having so many playable demos for so many games. I just do not have the time to do that. It's a cool idea that I don't have the time to do. And I would just be adding a bunch of games to PS prices anyway, and just saying like, I get to it in about 3 years when it's like $5. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check them out. It doesn't mean I'm buying them day one.
Oh yeah, no.
But
love to check out Skatebird for free. Like I'll play that for a couple of minutes, and that's probably about it. Laid out fast. Our last question here. Devolver Digital has long been a company with a finger or 3 on the pulse of the industry and a colorful, snarky streak of responses. Recently, they released a free game called Devolverland Expo on Steam as a nice jab at E3. Current world events, probably one of the coolest ways to expose brands to the audience that I've seen in a while. Have you tried this yet, and has it grabbed you as a plausible marketing method versus week-long bombcast coverage of yesteryear, endless videos shown to industry execs and later shown on YouTube, and will it finally be the death of the booth babe? Mods notwithstanding, this is the internet after all.
Booth babes will never die.
Nope. Yeah. As long as you got rich white folk in marketing departments, you'll always have booth babes.
Yeah.
No, I haven't checked this out yet. It was also another thing to do that I wasn't able to get around to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will probably check it out this coming week just to see, because I thought it was a free horror game.
It very much looks like it.
I absolutely had not been paying attention to any news this week. I've been so busy. Yeah. And a buddy of mine brought this up, and I saw like a screen grab of them staring at like what looked like an empty area. I'm like,
and you're like, oh, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea, and it's nice. It's nice to see Devolver go so far for a joke. I think there's a.
Are you surprised they went that far for a joke?
No, I'm just. It makes me happy that they're just like, yeah, we released this free 3D thing where you just walk around and abandon not E3. Like, it's not surprising. It just makes me really happy. I think if any other company tries to do this, I feel like they would probably make VR a focus as opposed to it being like a joke. Like, I feel like they want you to walk around a big display and like walk up to a kiosk and watch a video, or like potentially play a game on a kiosk or something, or like get the full experience without being there. And I feel like that
your whole experience.
God, I wish. But I feel like that might kind of miss the point. So I'm not sure anybody would really. Plus, like, nobody's really investing in VR on like the console space right now, and Valve doesn't seem to care about anything. So I don't really know who would do it, other than Devolver. But they would just make their own AR headset and say like, walk around your house and it's suddenly E3. Whoa! Open up a closet and there's a game in there. Like, on the
And
Devolver
you're
headset.
Devolver books while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. If someone from Devolver is just pulling out your wallet from your back of your pants, yeah. I don't know. Devolver's great. I love them so much. All right, that's all of our questions for this week, which means that's the end of our episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Get cool audio. Help me pay for the show. And then fuel your life with my tiers.
Yes.
The $5 a month tier is the recommended one. That gets you everything. Anything above and beyond that is greatly appreciated. And I send you a personalized message when you sign up. As long as and Patreon sends me an email, I send you a message that says, yo, thanks so much. It's longer than that, but that's just a preview of, yo, thanks so much, with a thumbs up. That's me.
Subject line.
The subject line is whatever Patreon sends. Probably a message from E1M1. Yo, what's up? We don't forget to listen to Critical Misses. TVGP's Critical Misses, the show where Moonpier and I go through and enjoy all the hits we've missed. Sometimes listen.
Branding.
That's right. Sometimes listen, maybe watching. The first season of Critical Misses is airing on the public feed right now, where we go and we watch through the Fast saga. Over behind the scenes, we just wrapped up season 1. That releases.
In the Kenyan.
That's right. That releases every 2 weeks on the public feed and the Patreon feed. You want 2-month early access? Go become a patron. It's all over there. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Could you get over those words any more jumbly? Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's me. A professional. 12 and a half years of professional speaking.
Technically, you do get paid a little bit for this.
I mean, it never really goes directly to me. It just goes right over to Libsyn.
It's not a career, it's just a job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, an unpaying job. So
volunteer.
Good. Yeah, that's true. On top of my other unpaying job, stay-at-home dad.
Yep.
Yep. So good. Yeah. So good. All right, Nan, pay me with your titles.
Okay. First one I have is Brighten Your Life with My Tears.
Yes.
Church of Latter-day Mechs.
God.
It's creepy as a spider is. Disenchant This Corpse. Lift and Coast Nonsense. It's Hammer Time, Lewis.
Oh, God.
Murder of Spiders. And Spider Week.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
Kojima Special. The Aero Department will notice that. Give It the Beans. That one is probably a bit too long.
Yeah.
Anglo-American Racing. Spider Week. Thoroughly and Ruthlessly. Massively, gigantically huge. Horde Mode for Hospitals. He Gave Me 2 Cookies, and the Kensha Hall Experience.
I have Brighten Your Life with My Tears. It's Spider Week, A Murder of Spiders, and Church of Latter-day Mechs. I have checked Brighten Your Life with My Tears, It's Spider Week, and A Murder of Spiders.
I like Brighten Your Life with My Tears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if it's out of those 3, it's that one.
Yeah. I agree. Oh, so I'll circle it. And I'm ready whenever you guys are.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Wow, okay. All right, no pressure on me. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 664 for July 13th, 2020. Brighten Your Life with My Tears.
I need to feel.
I have asked you for nothing, so go to our Patreon page.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for watching. thank you so much. And we'll see you here next week. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.